This morning, I woke up and I had this thought of stop trying to be good in fitness. And by good, I mean like the good girl, people pleasing, nice, palatable, doing all the right things. I know for me, fitness and health was a way to earn goodness, to show my virtue and value, and to live up to some arbitrary, idealized standard that I created for myself that I thought I should reach. And so today we're going to be a little bad. And I'm going to kind of talk, I'm going to kind of, can I say it? Shit talk some things in fitness, some things that personally annoy me as someone who's been in this field professionally for 5 years and I guess, unprofessionally for a lot longer. I'm a nutrition coach, a personal trainer, certified personal trainer, holistic health and fitness coach, and I work a lot with people who have dealt with extremes in fitness, which is, I would say, the majority of us. And I'm a positive person. If you know me, I rarely complain. I don't think I complain too much. But, sometimes you got to sit down and you got to watch a juicy drama-filled episode of 90 Day Fiance where you're watching these people make these dubious life decisions and you get some entertainment out of it. Okay, that's me raising my hand once in a while. And of course, everything I'm going to share today is nuanced and exists within a context. So use your discretion as always. Trust yourself. And the purpose of this is not just to bash things or to complain for the sake of it, but to give you some permission to maybe be bad. Maybe be a little bad, maybe not be so good. Fitness is this, if you're if you go on social media, there are some approaches who are more compassionate and some people out there who get balance and longevity and stuff. But a lot of fitness is like, work harder. You got to be the strongest person in the room and you got to prove and you got to discipline, willpower, go faster, go longer, go harder. It's a lot of that. And I've learned after doing a lot of that in my own approach and seeing others suffer, like quite literally their lives suffer in suffering because of this mindset. And what I've learned is that you'll go a lot farther by doing a lot less with more quality and doing it a lot more effectively. And that's a lot of my work. But anyways, let's get into it. I wrote down 20 something things. So if you're just kind of listening, Mm, this is fun to have in your ears if you're driving a car, going on a walk, maybe working out. Good workout motivation and going on a walk. Okay. All right. Some of these might overlap as well, but I wrote some things down. Okay. So, number one, things that annoy me in fitness. We're talking about not being quote unquote good and kind of throwing the table on a lot of these ideas that are often revered as holy and unchangeable and sacred and true, even if they're not. Okay, number one, hitting targets as non-negotiable, like you have no choice. This idea of I have to hit my targets for today, and there's no other option. There's no other choice. I have to do it. It's this very all or nothing, black and white mentality. Number two, getting off track. Okay, I don't like this phrase getting off track. It's as if there's one right track to be on. And usually that track is counting your calories, making sure that you're quote unquote in your calories or your macros or your steps. Usually it's some number or getting a certain amount of activity. And I'm not saying, of course, that it's bad to have goals, or sometimes you might be on a meal plan where your life depends on following that meal plan. So I'm not saying that it's always a bad thing, but this idea of like being on track. And you can be on the track or you can be off the track. And there's only one right track to be on for you. And there's no nuance on that track. It's just one track. And if you mess up, you're off the track. And then you got to get back on the track once you get off the track, right? You know? Okay. Don't get off track. Get on track, get back on track. Number three, and this is a big umbrella, but I'm going to go into the nuances of it. Treating food as something to be scared of. Like comments like, uh-oh, there's snacks around, or oh no, I'm gonna mess up my diet, or oh no, all this holiday food, or oh, I don't keep that around the house because it's too good and I know I'll lose control over it. Mm. Or like, oh, keep that food away from me. It's too high in calories, or I can't trust myself around this food. It's treating food as something to be scared of. And I get it. I've been there before, and it's a really cool place to be beyond that, where you're not afraid of food, where it's like, yeah, I have this, I tried this new ice cream that I got. It's a gallon of moose tracks, I think. And it's good. And I could probably, if I wanted, I don't know, I'd get sick. There's a part of me that could eat the whole gallon or most of it. It's good. I can eat a lot of ice cream. If you've been with me in the past, you know I love ice cream. And I'm not afraid of it. It's fine. But if like that mindset of like, I can't trust myself, but I ate it and it was so good. And I was like, okay, my stomach's telling me to stop. I'm good. It's that feeling of like trust with yourself and checking in with your body. It's food doesn't have to be something you're scared of. Okay, number four, this is huge in fitness. And again, this is broad, but focusing on creating a body you want, like this idea of working hard and struggling and doing the hard work required for you to have the body that you want. Like creating a sexy body or making a bikini body as if that's the goal. The goal is to create a certain look rather than living from the body that you have with love. And of course, you might even be like, of course, Michelle, that's what we do. That's fitness. It doesn't have to be that way. Be bad. Be bad. It doesn't have to be a rebel. It doesn't have to be this way. This whole idea, even of bikini bodies, like everybody in a bikini is a bikini body. But you know what I mean when I say bikini body and the culture and our, it's like a mutual understanding in culture that bikini body means that you have a certain look, that you look quote unquote hot or attractive. Fuck that. Fuck that. One, attractiveness is subjective. Yeah, not everyone is attracted to the same kind of body, but we've created this like supposed standard that we all need to match up to. So focusing on creating a body, as if your body is like some piece of wood that you need to chisel into shape to make it and sculpt it. Your body is not just a static thing that you can take tools and just like chisel. Of course, it's adaptable and able to be changed, but that's not the main goal. Okay, number five, substituting all these ingredients and foods in the name of health. And of course, sometimes, you can make some healthier swaps, like maybe put in a little bit of, I don't know, a little less sugar in a recipe if it's too sweet for you, or adding some vegetables to your meal. That's always a great idea. Vegetables are great. But this idea of like cauliflower steak, it's not steak. Cauliflower is amazing and it tastes really good roasted. But it's not steak. Or like I have to substitute this really good thing with this other quote unquote healthy thing. Sometimes just eat the thing, like just enjoy it. Like I would much rather have my Moose Tracks ice cream full on dairy with all the chocolates in it, or my pint of Ben and Jerry's rather than, Halo's okay. But you know what I mean? Like, let's just enjoy it. We don't need to make everything quote unquote healthy. And when we go back to that part of being scared of food, that's when it has control over us. And there is a way where you can be balanced. It doesn't mean we're always eating ice cream. Maybe you will need a stage in your life where you're eating so much ice cream because you've been in severe restriction, and that's a healthy thing. That can actually be a healthy thing. But substituting all these things in the name of health. And often when we're doing that, we're missing out on time with friends or social connections where it's like, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. And this is not like you have a medical restrictive diet. Sometimes people do have restrictions, whether allergy or their bodies having certain actual intolerances. But we can often miss out on time with friends or social connection because we always have to choose something healthy. And I remember being in that place where I would go to a restaurant. It was nothing about what I wanted. It was nothing about what looked good. It was all about what's the healthiest option. And oh, I can't eat that. So I'm going to feel special by ordering something different. And that's my experience. Yours, it might be different, but substituting all these things in the name of health. Okay. And this one, number 6, I'm flip-flopping between food and exercise, but it's all related. Okay. Seeing exercise as punishment. Like this whole idea of like in boot camp where this drill sergeant attitude is like, soldier, what did you do? You stepped out of line, drop down and give me 20. Or, oh, I made a mistake, so I have to do 10 burpees. Or the whole premise of Biggest Loser. Oh my goodness, exercise as punishment. No wonder people don't like exercise. It's like exercise is seen as something painful and something that you have to put yourself to. And usually, when it's seen like that, it's for the sake of weight loss or shaping your body or some external goal that feels punitive or like there's something wrong with you, so you have to do it. And if you can relate to that, or if something went off in your little ping went off in your brain, watch my master class, my free master class, the Fitness Freedom Masterclass. It's in the show notes. Yeah, seeing exercise as punishment. Let's stop doing that. Movement, your body is meant to move. Movement feels good. Movement is good for you. And yes, sometimes it can be challenging, but when that challenge comes, it should be a thing that you welcome and you embrace with joy, not with extreme mindset or like that attitude of punishing yourself, but like, hey, this is fun. I want a little challenge. It's fun to go a little bit extra, but I know where my limits are. Okay. And this is related. Number 7, thinking good quality exercise has to be hard. It has to wipe you out and it has to make you sweat. This is so not true. Sometimes the best quality movement, you will burn barely any calories. You will not break a sweat, but you will feel so much better afterwards. Sometimes, like I said, with the quality over quantity with movement, quality is so important. And so many of us, I see this as in my work a lot, is like so many people think that, okay, I gotta exercise, I want to get into shape. That means that it needs to be hard and I need to feel good about it. I need to feel like I worked for something. And don't get me wrong, I like sweating. I don't mind sweating. Some people hate it, but I don't mind sweating. It does feel good to sweat sometimes. But you don't need to sweat in order for it to be a good workout. It doesn't mean that you earned something or you're more valuable as a person because you sweated during your workout. And small movements in your body are actually like those subtle movements. Say, just for example, the balance between your left and right hip, how far away from the ground it is, or even horizontally when you're lying down, that balance, or how fluid your movements can be, those small, subtle micro movements, that can be more valuable than, going on a super long run with imbalances in your body. That can be counterproductive. So good quality exercise does not have to be hard. Okay, we're going to be a rebel and be bad here and say it doesn't have to be hard to be good. It doesn't have to wipe me out. I don't have to feel 0% afterwards. I don't need to chase that high intensity feeling every time I exercise once in a while. Yeah, that can be fun, but it's only fun when you know where your limits are and when you know where your foundation is and your baseline is. All right. This is another one, and this is kind of similar along the same line. Number eight, like fitness and eating well is a chore. Like you have to do it to stay in shape or be healthy. It's not something you really want to do. It's like, I don't really want to work out, but I have to because, and there, it's even subtle. It's like, I have to show up for myself. Even when I'm tired, even when I'm not feeling great, I have to push myself to do it. And yeah, sometimes we don't feel motivated in the start, but I do believe that when we trust ourselves and work in collaboration with our bodies, we don't have to. It's like okay, let's think about it like a parent and a child. A child doesn't really want to do homework, and the parent might have to remind the kid, like, hey, do your homework, or the kid's like, I don't want to, I gotta do my homework. That's the difference between like treating exercise or eating well as a chore versus like the mature adult who's like, you know what? This is good for me. I can see the end goal for this. And so it doesn't feel like something I have to do. It feels like something that I want to do because it's in line with my values and it's in line with my lifestyle and the future I want for myself and the present I want for myself. And it doesn't feel like this grinding gears pushing up a rock up a hill. It feels like a natural thing to do. Okay, number nine, related, prioritizing quote unquote the grind over sleep and rest and play. And this looks like 5 a.m. wake ups or 4 a.m. wake ups to get your long workout in, or missing sleep to get your workouts in, always prioritizing exercise over sleep. And sleep truly is the foundation for health. Rest is the foundation for health. That's what the 4-H method is about. Play is the foundation for health. Something I write in the 4-H method is slaves work from tired bodies. We don't have to do that. We are free. So this idea that action, 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 do more, do more, do more at whatever cost, even if my body is screaming out in pain, or even if my body needs a lot more sleep, oftentimes it is more healthy to choose sleep over working out. And that can be another issue. It could be a matter of routine and time management and stuff like that. And that's something I also do talk about in the 4-H method and help my clients with, which is very valuable. But prioritizing the grind. Okay, number 10, and this is okay. So biohacking is kind of like the term of dieting for privileged straight dudes. We'll say that to be very categoricalistic. Biohacking is like dieting for dudes. It's like eat the right thing. The timing has to be right and the right micro. And then you do this and you go into the shower and then you go into the cold and the hot. And then you sit and you meditate for 5 hours and then you take your pills and your supplements and like the Paxton Piper, whatever from White Lotus, the protein shakes. Eat the protein shake. So biohacking and hacking your health so much, and not just men do this, of course, but doing it so much and trying to find how can I live longer? How can I optimize my health? How can I get the most out of my health? It's this like capitalistic idea of like we have to extract as much value as possible for as little output as possible. We need to, it's like our bodies exist as a thing to help us profit, like seeing our body as an asset, like a thing that we can profit from and maybe make more money or have more success or whatever their goal is. I don't know. But it happens, it's done to such degree, like this fear of dying or this fear of like not being super healthy or fit, that you actually miss out on living life and enjoying life. Like, yeah, to the extreme, these CEOs, I can't think of any names. The old Twitter CEO, Jack something, he like had some pretty disordered or has some pretty disordered behaviors, but it's called quote unquote, biohacking or hacking health. But spending so much time and energy on trying to live longer that you miss out on actual living. Okay, and then Number 11, this is specific to steps. Okay. Obsessing over steps. Like it's a hard and fast rule to get 10K every single day. And this is so arbitrary. The reason that 10K, I don't remember the specifics. Maintenance phase, they did an episode on this that was really cool. So if you want to learn more, go to maintenance phase, the 10K every day. It was something about like Japanese pedometers and the way that the language was structured, that it was pleasing, or it was just so happened that 10K was a goal that these watches had or these pedometers had. And then we took it as this hard and fast rule, kind of like the BMI. Like that was designed by a guy who was trying to find the quote unquote perfect weight and height ratio. And it was done on men. And then insurance companies took it for themselves to use it as some arbitrary standard. So, BMI is bullshit. And I think more people are understanding that. But that's another number. That's a side number. That's a sub point. But obsessing over steps, of course, it's great to move, and I like to check my steps just to see how much movement I get. But I don't have the goal of I always have to get 10K steps a day. Sometimes I get more. Sometimes I barely get any because I'm relaxing, and that's cool. My body needs those highs and lows. But yeah, there's no hard and fast rule. Well, maybe it's 8K for you. Maybe it's 6K. Of course, movement is good, but obsessing over it, like it's a hard and fast rule. Like once you reach 10K, you have reached health and you will live forever and nothing bad will ever happen to you. Okay, number 12. Uh, this idea of slacking off. Like, oh, I'm slacking off. And I know some of us enjoy movement more than others. Some of us enjoy challenging ourselves physically more than others. But this shaming of like, oh, I'm slacking off, I'm taking it easier, with the only priority being to always push harder, always get bigger, always lose more fat, always be making progress without acknowledging other factors. Like we are whole beings, complex humans, these beautiful organisms. Our bodies are working for us, and sometimes slacking off can be good. What is happening in other areas of your life? Maybe you're underslept. Maybe you're super stressed. Your life is full of stress, and those things need to be addressed. Of course, you're slacking off, quote unquote, in the gym because your body doesn't is not in a place to push because there's other things going in your life. So yeah, this idea of shaming it. Okay, and I said this before, but I wrote this down as a separate point. Here we go. Thinking only certain bodies are worthy of being seen. I want to throw up just saying that, like bikini body, swimsuit, clothing. And I feel so, it's so unfortunate that some bodies feel wrong because certain clothes don't fit them, or there's this idea that only certain bodies should be wearing certain clothing. Like, oh, we don't want to see that kind of body, or people don't want to see that. Like, shifting that from all bodies are worthy of being seen, all bodies are inherently good, all bodies are inherently good. So fuck that. Okay. Number 14, equating body types with virtues and values. So typically in our culture, bigger bodies are seen, or people in bigger bodies are seen as less disciplined, have less self-control, maybe. Laziness is a thing. And you never know, as someone who's seen the insides and behind the scenes of lots of people in different types of bodies, you never, ever, 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 ever know what's going on. Often people who have are in bigger bodies or quote unquote struggle with their weight as if um, weight is always a bad thing. You never know. They often are the most restrictive and have um, sometimes the most extreme measures that they take for their bodies. So, and then if you're genetically predisposed to being in a smaller body, or maybe you have more muscle mass, or you just have certain looks, then we equate those bodies or faces with more success, or uh, they're a good person or whatever. I don't know. I can't think of it right now, but let's stop equating body types and looks with virtues and values unless you really know the person and yeah, you don't know. Stop judging. Let's just stop judging and thinking that we know about someone's choices and health based on how they look. Ugh. You never know. You never ever know. Often people who are in bigger bodies are more healthy than those who are in smaller bodies. We just don't know. Number 15, all you need is more discipline and motivation. You just need to work harder. You just need you just need to have more self-control. And usually it's because you need those things in order to get X result. And that's the prize is this result, which is, maybe a six pack or a certain type of booty or a certain type of look or a certain weight. That's the goal of fitness. And we've so distorted, going back to the previous point of we've so equated weight with health. And sometimes they can be related, but they're not always related. Okay. And that's my next one, being so obsessed with weight and shape as the ultimate measure of fitness and health. And if you like, this was kind of big this past year with the Olympics, is like for women Olympics, there were a variety of body sizes and body types. And And you might think like, oh, all Olympic athletes should look like, this, like thin and toned and blah, 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 lean and blah, 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 as if that's what healthy is across the board. And it was cool to see the different body types in various sports, different abilities, different skills that people had. Weight and shape. They are one weight is like a small factor. Sometimes it's not even related, but it's a small factor to fitness and health. And we have made it become like the biggest factor. So please, let's stop doing that. It's hurting a lot of people. It is actually mentally, physically, emotionally hurting a lot of people. So yeah, I'll get to that in another point. Setting standards, number 17, setting standards like six packs or bodybuilder looks as the highest attainment of fitness. We don't need to pursue six packs. We don't need to um, be a bodybuilder. And we often think, okay, those are the fittest people. If you have a six pack, you're the fittest person, you're the healthiest person. And if you are a bodybuilder, you're the fittest person, you're the healthiest person. But often the behaviors involved, depending on your genetic predisposition and et cetera, your gender, hormone levels, habits, all these stuff, your lifestyle, there's multiple factors involved. But often people who have that or having those standards or what it takes to get to those standards often involves disordered eating behaviors. There's lots of stories of former bodybuilder competitors who went through pretty extreme cycles of the cut phase and then the bulk phase. And really it's cycling diet and intensity, which can be unhealthy in the long term. But often it involves disordered eating behaviors and restricting so much. And then what happens is that inevitable binge and letting go, so to speak, or a suffering of mental health, either one. Um, yeah, so we don't need to glorify six pack as the ultimate standard of fitness and health. Number 18, being so obsessed with fitness that exercise or even controlling your diet is the only outlet for stress or emotions. Exercise gives you endorphins, right? Exercise gives you endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. Happy people don't kill people, right? Legally Blonde, Elle Woods. But sometimes when we don't have other uh, places in our life where we have that fulfillment or joy, or we don't have different categories in our lives where we're getting that satisfaction or we're feeling fulfilled, we can hyperfixate on exercise and food and make that the only outlet. And as much people say, like movement is therapy or food is medicine, those are incorrect. Fitness and exercise, as beneficial as they are, they're not a substitute for therapy. It can be therapeutic, it can be healing in some ways, but it's not therapy. Therapy is something different. And I think if we have the means, everyone should go to therapy. It's a good therapist. You go to the therapist. Um, they yeah, they're not it's not exercise. And food is not medicine. Medicine is medicine. Food can be beneficial and healing and nourishing, and certain foods can help our bodies, but it is not a substitute for medicine. Okay? So having a broad range of outlets beyond movement, beyond just food. And I talk about that in like the the first episode of this season, or one of the first episodes of this season, about like the surprising sign that you're actually having more fitness freedom is you think a lot less about exercise and food, and you have a lot more outlets in your life. Okay, number 19, I'm coming up on the last few here. Constant before and after pictures. Always, the after is always smaller. It's always toner, especially smaller. That's the focus. I did in the beginning, and I was like, this does not feel right. I don't like this. I stopped doing before and after pictures. I just don't. And even in my program, there's progress photos, but I encourage people to take pictures of their smile or just something specific that they want to focus on if they want to. But this idea of like the before is always sad and big, and then the after is always, smaller and toner and happier. And it promotes this message that the attainment, the ultimate attainment, the ultimate goal is to be smaller, is to lose weight, is to be stronger. And yes, that's great too, to be stronger, to have better posture, to have more alignment in your body. That's not a bad thing. But it gives this misleading message again that weight is the ultimate measure of fitness and health. And then what happens after this before and after that after picture, years down the line, is it sustainable? Is it good for your mental health? Those are important questions. Or, the before and after pictures, this is something I see too, is like there's like whatever number weight and then a few pounds difference. And it's like, I was so afraid of gaining weight, but I gained weight and now I'm so happy. And it's like there's just like such a small difference, and the weight is usually small. They're usually very toned still. It's like it's not about the weight. It's actually about me being having more muscle mass and less body fat. So we kind of shifted the standard too to not just the weight, but like now we need to have more muscle mass constantly. We need more muscle mass. You need more muscle mass. Hey, you listening to this? You need more muscle. I'm joking. Okay, you might want more muscle mass, and muscle mass is a great thing, but we don't always need to be pursuing more, bigger, bigger, bigger. Okay. And then this is last two. Yeah, restricting food so much out of fear of bad ingredients. So like I won't put that poison in my body, or I'm not gonna eat. I will never ever put that in my body. That is horrible. And our mindset when we're approaching food has a lot to do like the placebo effect. And I understand if it's your body, you can choose what you want to put into it or not. But this fear of bad ingredients. And that goes back to this idea of food being medicine. And then also on the opposite end of that belief is food being poison, as if one meal of a fast food is going to send you to an early grave, or if you eat a candy with a red dye in it, it's going to give you multiple diseases. So like oftentimes I would say the fear of the food itself is worse than the ingredients, because it's not just what you're doing or what you're eating or what you're doing, but how you're doing it and your mindset and your why behind it. And then lastly, complementing weight loss when you know nothing about why or how. And this goes back to, being so obsessed with weight and shape and smaller and toner. But let's just stop unless it's explicitly asked for, and then we can also be neutral in our responses. Let's just stop commenting on people's bodies and making value statements on on their bodies um, based on limited information. Like, of course, so you can say, "Hey, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful. I love the way you look," or "You look great in that outfit," or just praise like, "Oh, you're glowing," or "Oh, your eyes are really shiny. Your skin looks like you're glowing." Like, "Oh, your hair looks gorgeous," or whatever. But like, "Oh, you lost weight. You look so good." That's usually what it is, right? It's like, "You lost weight." Immediately after, "You look great." Ouch. No, you don't know what it took for them to lose that weight. Losing weight and being in a smaller body is not necessarily better. They could be sick. They could have used disordered means or unhealthy means to get to that weight loss. You don't know. So, or even weight gain. This is something that I had to get used to in Korea. Is like people use it very openly, and I know cultural differences are a thing, but like it's like, "Oh, you gained weight," and it's not really offensive there. In America, we wouldn't say that, but like, "Oh, you gained weight," and sometimes it's like, "Oh, you look healthier. You look good." Just like let's just stop commenting. I knew I had made progress in my self-image, I guess, my body image when one time it was like last year around this time, I was sick. I had diarrhea, my stomach issues on a trip. So I naturally ate a little bit less, or couldn't keep it down. And someone said, "Oh, it looks like you lost weight. You look good." And instead of being like, "Oh my God, a compliment. Yay, I look good. Why do you think I look good?" I was like, don't tell me that. That's not a compliment. I was sick. And I was a little bit angry that she made that comment about my body. And that was like, "Oh, cool. I'm glad that that was my reaction because you don't know." So after all of this, we got a little bit of drama. We got a little bit of, I don't like that. This is not cool. We don't like this. Let's change things. Health, what is health? Health is happiness, health is enjoyment, health is connection with our bodies, with others. Health is energy to do the things that we want, health is freedom. And so, things that take away your freedom or take away that enjoyment or the connection is not health. And when you do take away the fear, the pressure, the guilt, you are free and you are free to choose what is good for your body, mind, and soul. And that's the thing. Again, Fitness Freedom, please go check out that masterclass. It's free and it could blow your mind and really change things for you in the way that it's laid out beyond what I'm sharing here. It puts things in more context. So definitely listen to that. When you are pressured to change your body or your eating behaviors or your exercise behaviors because you need to attain some specific goal or you feel guilty or you're afraid. That's not freedom. Freedom is when you can choose what is good for your body because you want it, not because you have to, but because you want to. And so, again, the purpose of this is not to shame anyone if you've held on to these beliefs or ideas, or maybe you're aware of some of these ideas inside you that you've been holding on to. Maybe you even want to change it. I'm not bashing you, but I want to shed light on the ridiculousness sometimes that is fitness and health and give you permission to be bad, to let go of the rules. The heroes in our heroes page, one of like, I don't know, a creed is like, we are rebels. We do what feels good for our bodies and we listen to ourselves. And so you have permission to do that. I recommend, highly recommend if this was like kind of refreshing for you to check out my Fitness Freedom Masterclass, the third time I'm mentioning it. So, it's good. And if you really want to do this work, of course, I invite you to join the 4-H method where it's so good and it's so beautiful and it's such a different way of doing health and fitness that will free you. And it's not just for exercise and food, although that's huge in it. It's your whole self, it's your whole life, your whole health, and your whole body. Um, but what about you? What would you add to this list? You can comment below, you can send me a message. Let me know. You might have been bursting out when you're like, oh, Michelle, this one, you forgot this one. Or is she going to do this one? And she did it. Ah, put it in the comments. Send me a message. I'd love to hear. And let's be bad.